Hello everyone, this is LEGO Toby, and today I will be doing a LEGO set review for the LEGO Hero Factory Invasion from Below Rocka and Surge Combat Machine. This is a LEGO Hero Factory set released back in summer of 2014 and was unfortunately the last LEGO Hero Factory sets to have ever been released. This set contains 188 pieces, 2 mini heroes, 2 jumpers, a cocoon build, and this giant mech build here we'll take a look at shortly. And in total, that does equal to 4 figures, though. And the set number for this set is 44028. So now, we shall go ahead and take a look at the figures themselves. So now we shall go ahead and remove this to the side here. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the jumpers. So we get a couple of jumpers in this set. We get a jumper with a blue bottom and a black cap. And we also get this jumper with a red bottom and a black cap. This is actually the first time I've ever gotten this red piece. And for those who haven't seen my previous Invasion from Below set review videos, which I would be a little surprised since those tend to be some of my most viewed videos on my channel. But the way these work is that you have this space here that you can press and it'll jump surprisingly far. But then you also end up placing this little Technic piece here in there and place this black cap on there, and then they jump even further. Yeah, just look at that. That is really impressive. And this one pretty much has the same functionality too. And they can jump pretty far too. So overall, both of these are really impressive, like, mini characters for what they are. And overall make for a great enemy for Hero Factory Invasion from Below sets. And now removing both of the characters out of the mech. The first character I do want to take a look at is Surge. And I am not going to lie, this is honestly a pretty disappointing figure. Ever since I first saw this set when I was 8 years old, or at least knew about it, I was very disappointed by the Surge figure, because most of the other mini heroes from the Invasion from Below line are really well done, and their helmets just look exactly like, for the most part, look exactly like their construction figure counterpart, but here it just looks like a really generic plain headpiece or helmet piece. Like, I mean, he's kind of smiling, but it really does not look anything like the Surge characters at all. The only thing that you could really tell looks like Surge about it is the lightning bolt imprints in there, I guess. I don't know. Like, here's the back of the helmet piece looks like, and underneath it's just a normal red headpiece. And again, for those who somehow haven't seen my previous videos, this is how they pretty much work. They have uniquely molded arms and legs, as well as this chest plate armor piece, I guess, that can fit a 1x1 circular tile with a hero core printed on it. I always love these mini heroes, I really do. And having more of them is honestly finally really exciting to me. So overall, I don't have much else to say about Surge. He is one of the rarer mini heroes though, as for he only appears in this set and the $10 Tunneler Beast set, and that's about it really. So that is a little surprising. Taking out the next mini hero out of the mech, we have Rocka. And I gotta say, this one was introduced in the winter 2014 wave, unlike Surge. And I gotta say, Rocka is actually a pretty well done figure for the most part, at least in terms of his helmet molding. Again, it looks exactly like his Brain Attack counterpart, which is pretty neat. And again, here's what the back of his helmet piece looks like. Again, and this time he has a lime green headpiece. And again, nothing else really needs to be said about this mini hero. And again, this is the only other LEGO set I really have right now that includes one of these cocoon builds, except this time it's in translucent red. And again, if you haven't seen my Queen Beast review, which is actually one of my earliest videos on this channel, and again, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Anyways, yeah, you pretty much can open it up like this, and many people have said that these builds remind them of Venus flytraps, and I will agree the more I think about that. Overall, I really love these cocoon pieces. They are really neat pieces. And they are another really underrated aspect about the Hero Factory Invasion from Below line, specifically the Summer Wave. And each of these are individual pieces, but overall it does make for an intriguing cocoon build. You can open it up to either place a jumper in there and close it up like that, And then when it comes time to hatch, you can literally have the jumper just jump out. or you can even trap a hero inside of there, so that way they can become a jumper themselves. It doesn't cover the entire figure, unfortunately, but still does a pretty decent job nonetheless. Overall, I really like these side builds, and I do appreciate that at least one of these appear in every Summer 2014 Wave Invasion from Below set, because these are really neat pieces to have. But with all that being said and done, let's go ahead and take a look at the battle machine itself. And I'm just going to go ahead and once again try to raise my tripod without hopefully causing any destruction or havoc. So yeah, here is of what I could capture of the Rocka and Surge combat machine. When I was a kid, I actually initially thought it was a combined machine, and you'll see why in a second. But yeah, here's what it looks like straight up from the front. Here is what it looks like from the sides. And here is what it looks like from the back. Here's what it looks like from the other side. And we're back to the front once again. Now, at first glance, you might be thinking, this is a pretty messy looking model for what it is. And it is certainly the case. But I will say, once you get a closer look at the set, especially the main play feature of it, then you'll see why this is a LEGO set I have wanted for as long as I have. Seriously, I've wanted the set ever since it first came out when I was 8. And again, it's just so unrealistic. Well, it feels unreal having this set to me. But I have it nonetheless. And the main play feature that this set has is that you can actually remove the top part from the... Whoops, that was not supposed to happen. Okay, somehow it's harder to do it here. You can actually remove the top part here from the bottom part, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted this set for as long as I have, because it's just such a cool play feature to me. And now we shall take a look at the bottom part first. Yeah, this is what the bottom part looks like without the top part. Again, here's what the front looks like. Here is what the side looks like. Here's what the back looks like. Here's what the other side looks like again, and here is the front. And I gotta say, just this part of the mech alone has a lot going on, at least the front part anyways. Overall, the bottom part was actually a very fun to construct part of the build, I will say, and for some reason it kind of looks a little crooked on my review area. But what you can pretty much do, once again, is open up the cockpit where you get 3 utterly painful stickers to put on. Like these, again, for as much as I do appreciate these sets, I am going to say this. The stickers you have to place on each of these, like glass pieces, I guess, transparent pieces, like they are, in my opinion, some of the worst and most painful stickers that I have ever had to place on a Lego piece. But anyways, you can open it up and place Surge, for example, inside of there and pretty much get him battle ready to fight against some jumpers. You can literally have his controls line up with his hands, and he is now ready. I will say it's a pretty neat model for what it is, and here is what it looks like from here. Unfortunately, it is a little incomplete for what it is, but at the same time, it doesn't feel the most incomplete. I don't know. At least the back area feels a little incomplete for what it is. But the front part still has a lot going on here, and again, it doesn't feel too bad, to be honest. I don't know. Like, it still somehow feels and looks good to me personally. You also get a couple printed pieces here, at least, which is pretty nice. And on here, we actually get a couple of stud shooters. And specifically the old ones, well, back in 2014, these were actually pretty new. But again, for those who just got it into LEGO somehow and are watching this video and some surprisingly don't really know much about the older stud shooter, all you have to do is pretty much press this and it'll shoot like that. And yeah, it's a pretty neat, it was a neat feature when it was first introduced, but eventually these pieces did eventually become redundant and literally appear in every LEGO set and theme, at least at one point. So that is pretty frustrating. And again, just taking a closer look at this printed piece here, which if I'm not mistaken is exclusive to the set, and you get a pair of these too, which is nice. Overall, it is a pretty neat piece for what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it back on the model. But besides the stud shooters, you also get a triple shooter here, which is pretty impressive. And you can shoot them all at once like that. Well, okay, maybe not like that. And I honestly don't really want to shoot them all at once on video, at least not like that. But here, let me just like try and... Oh, there we go. That was kind of perfect, actually. But, or if you want to, you could just do, you could just, you know, just that. I mean, at least it would make it to where they all, like, fired at once, so that's pretty neat. But I really try my best not to lose those pieces, so yeah. And then on the other side, instead of getting flick fire missiles, you get a full-blown Zamor sphere shooter, or as they're called in this particular instance, goo shooters. And again, if you've seen my older videos, then we all know the drill here. Just press on these two pieces, and the sphere shoots out. And yeah, I gotta say, it's a classic play feature, and I certainly prefer this piece here over the bottom there, over both of them being bottom pieces. Mainly because the ball is much more secure in here. So yeah, but besides that, I don't really have anything else to say about this bottom part here. So now let's go ahead and move on to the top part, or the flyer part of the battle machine, where once again you get 3 of the exact same stickers. Unfortunately, it is a bit tough to see on video, which kind of makes putting these stickers on the build even worse somehow. Anyways, you can once again open it up and place Rocka inside of there, who is pretty much now ready to go ahead and fly into action. So, yeah, with that being said and done, I will say this build is surprisingly a little more frustrating than the bottom part of the set, mainly because of this part here, where I get they needed to connect both the builds somehow, but unfortunately, if you wanted to like have this as an individual vehicle, unfortunately, like it's going to like land like this guaranteed. Like, I don't know, I just do not like that personally. I really don't. And this part here surprisingly bothered me a lot more than I initially thought too. Like, this part here is, I don't know, I mean, I like how you can move these a bit, but I don't know, these pieces here honestly kind of drive me crazy, mainly because of how like the legs go in between those. I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of that. I will say this, though, it's still a neat build for what it is. The bottom part was mostly built using bone pieces. Heck, the bottom part even had a couple torso pieces in the build as well. But here, this is actually a more Technic-based build, and I honestly kind of like that too. And I do think it's a pretty well done build for what it is. It does use a lot of Technic pieces, but it is a simplistic but fun build overall. And I really do like the play feature they have here, where if you like mess with this wire-like piece here, you can actually fold the wings back, which I think is super cool. And I think that is something that really redeems this part of the set. And once again, you can pretty much flick them out back, and you get 4 flick fire missiles, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, as if we didn't have enough shooters on the other build. Like, there's still some shooters to be on this one, so that way you could still use this as an independent model if you wanted to. And the last part I do want to talk about is the back here, where, again, another part that kind of disappointed me with this piece here, where I kind of wish you could, like, spin it around or something like that, but instead the way it's connected like this to that kind of makes it to where the only movement you can get out of this part was through that, and that's honestly not my favorite part. I don't know. I don't feel that this part is as necessary now that I do finally have this set and build. But overall, it's still a decent part of the set for what it is. But still, it also makes for a decent display build. Overall, I don't think this set is the greatest display set of all time, but I do think it is very fun to play with. But more on that when I get to my final thoughts on the set. But I don't really have much else to talk about with this set. So before we do get to my final thoughts, let's go ahead and take a look at the instructions booklet, where at the beginning here we have a weird comic strip, as all Hero Factory sets from 2013 and 2014 once did. And I swear, I don't know why they just make the heroes just seem a little demonic in these. I don't know why. It might be just me, but I don't know. In general, it's an interesting art style for sure. And then after that, we just get some more instructions pages all the way until the end, where, interesting enough, we get a lot in the end, like a lot of advertisements. But first we have this here, which has a couple more panels for the art style, I guess. As far as I can tell, these were actually the concept art for the sets. And then we have pretty much all the characters, jumpers, and cocoons you could collect throughout the sets, as well as the parts inventory or checklist. And then moving on to the next page, we have another mini comic strip specifically for the combination models of the set. And then we have pretty much all, or at least most of the summer 2014 Invasion from Below sets and their combination models, excluding the Rocka and Surge Combat Machine, the one I'm reviewing right now, unfortunately. Yeah, you get, and again, I reviewed this one. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. I do highly recommend it. And we also get these other sets, as well as these here, too. Yeah, we also have these 3 sets, and, of course, the combination models. And interesting enough, an interesting feature about this set that is featured on this page is that, remember how you can remove the top part of the battle machine off? Well, you could also replace it with one of the smaller builds, or like one of the smaller battle machine build mechanisms, I guess, which is interesting. And yeah, that's another really interesting feature about the set, and if I were to have these other 2 sets, I probably would have done that in my review for the set. But unfortunately, I do not as of right now, and I really do not want to get this one anytime soon, so yeah. And then we have another page dedicated to a bunch of unnecessary advertisements, like one final page of advertisements, and it is honestly the most unnecessary one yet. Like, to be honest, like, there's just way too many advertisements, like advertising for the same Lego sets too. It's honestly kind of funny, but also a little disappointing. But at least this one does at least feature all of the summer 2014 wave Invasion from Below sets, which I do kind of respect. So yeah, and we of course have a good old-fashioned Win advertisement with a Lego minifigures robot on it. So that's pretty much everything I have to say about the set itself. So overall, do I think this is a good set? It is one that was truly worth wanting since the age of 8. Honestly, yeah. Ever since I was 8 years old, when this set first came out, I've always wanted to have this one. And when I did finally get it last month, it truly was just so exciting finally getting this set. There were aspects about this set that were a little disappointing to me, but aspects about it that were also better, mainly the displayability. It's not a perfect display model. It's not going to look great from every, like, pose or angle or anything like that, because at times it can still look like a very messy model, but I will say it is a surprisingly good-looking model nonetheless. Whether they're both together or separated as separate battle machines, they're actually surprisingly great. It's a surprisingly great display. It's a decent display set, I should say. However, though, the main reason why I will always want this set as long as I have is mainly because of the playability factor. And my goodness, I gotta say, this is a fun play set for what it was, I will say. This set includes all kinds of shooters. It includes a Zamor shooter, a couple stud shooters, an insane amount of flick fire missiles. It's insane. And that's not even all the play features. Like, you can remove, like, the top part of this battle machine too if you wanted to, like have the wings fold back. It's just a fun Lego set all around. And in addition, you even have the fun stuff with the cocoon build as well, and the jumpers and all that. Those are just nice play features in of themselves. Overall, it's a really fun play set, and even the original value of this set back when it was first released in 2014, like $25 for this set, like you get a lot for $25. Like typically $20 to $30 sets would typically be more of the cheaper scale end of Lego sets, but with this one, like, you get a lot here. So overall, I personally would highly recommend this one to those who are hardcore Lego Hero Factory fans, such as myself personally, and I would especially recommend it to completionists of the theme as well. But specifically though, I would also recommend this set to like a kid who also really likes Lego, or it's just a fun toy in general. Like, honestly, I would recommend this set outside of like Lego fans. Like, I just really like this one that much, and this set is a really great demonstration of why I think the Invasion from Below line is as underrated as it is. And overall, I personally would give this set a 3.5-star rating. This one I would easily recommend, though unfortunately this is a long retired set since it is from 2014. And on Amazon, this set is around $150-ish now, which is really devastating to think about, but that's what happened to retired Lego sets. Nonetheless, though, if you can afford this one, this is one I can easily recommend to anyone, especially any kids who just want a fun toy to play with. It really is a fun set. But either way, this is Lego Toby. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!